Welcome, everybody. How's it going? We are live. So, we got a lot to talk about today, guys. A lot to go over, a lot to digest, a lot to process. And I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy. I am too. So, be prepared. We're not going to be very positive in this stream. There's not much to be positive about. Right now, overall, I can take only a handful of positives away from that game today. But before we get started today, I want to say we already have 90 people in the stream, which is awesome. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, and we just started. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content on top of some other sports content. Become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month. We have hit our subscriber goal for September as of a couple minutes ago, which is awesome. We also hit our member goal a long time ago. 49ers almost returned a kick for a touchdown. But anyway, yeah. So memberships, click the join button down below for $2 or $5 a month. And the donations are accepted via Super Chat or PayPal or Cash App. Look at the description. Right, guy, thank you. You have been a member for, that is your 12-month membership message. Wow, you've been you are, I believe, the first member who's been a member for a year. This was a complete embarrassment. I can see us going 1-3 the next 4 games, only beating Jacksonville. We have to entertain the possibility. We have to entertain the possibility. We have to entertain that possibility for sure, right, guy. So I'm going to just go ahead and start talking about this game and this team a little bit, and we will start taking comments. I will say, though, we're going to be getting a lot of comments very quickly. If you have a comment that you really want to be read or seen or addressed, then you have to send it in the form of a super chat. Otherwise, you're just going to have to hopefully get lucky with your comments. Channel members are somewhat more likely to have their messages be seen because of the graphic. But other than that, yeah. Super chat messages are guaranteed to be read and seen. And I could sure use the monetary therapy after what I saw today. So, this week, I saw something that I was not expecting to see this season. I saw an offense that actually played fine for the most part. Not perfect, couple mistakes, some problems. The second half obviously got out of hand, but that first half was great. We had 4 scoring drives. Only 3 ended in points, but we had 4 scoring drives. We moved the ball. We didn't do any huck-it-chuck-it prayer stuff. We methodically moved down the field, and I thought the offense was trending in the right direction, and I believe that would be enough to get the win, but the defense did absolutely nothing in this game. And I am beyond disgusted with that aspect of it, because as I have said before, we invested all these resources into the defense. The defense has been together for years. The coordinator's been in place for years. The scheme has been in place for over a decade. And I just expected things to be really good on that side of the ball this year. And as hard as it is to play defense in the NFL right now, you have to be able to be one of those teams with a good defense if you're going to invest this much into it. And we are plainly and simply not one of those teams. We look kind of the same as the Washington football team's defense, which it looks bad right now. We assembled talent just like they did, and we don't have the results. So, I am not getting mad at the players, really. I mean, some of the players might not be very good. Some of the players are a problem, but I'm not getting mad at players. I'm going to say that up front, because everything going on with this team comes back to the guy who put it together and is coaching it. So I'm looking at Pete Carroll. I'm looking at John Schneider. Of course, Ken Norton, but here's the thing. Ken Norton is just a Pete Carroll puppet. I promise you that Carroll, if Norton goes, it's just not going to be that different with Carroll in charge of the defense. So I'm not even that high on that. So I'm going to say this right now. I have said it once and for all. I think it's time for Carroll to go. I think that we would be better served if he were to retire this week. I am not interested in seeing him playing out the string this year because even if we do turn it around and do good, it's not going to be anything elite. It's going to be a one and done or a divisional round exit, which we are very used to here in Seattle, and I don't need to see that again. I need to see something better than that. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead, take a look at these comments, see if we can find anything interesting to talk about. Doesn't Pete make most player decisions? Yes, that's why I'm putting this on him. Like, okay, as an example, yeah, Kyle Fuller sucks. Kyle Fuller sucks. But who decided to get Kyle Fuller and who decided to put him in a position where he could start? Carroll. Trey Flowers sucks. Okay. Trey Flowers, who decided to keep him on the team the last 4 years and who decided to start him? Who decided to not go get somebody better? Or who couldn't find somebody better? Carroll. And yeah, you can talk about John Schneider too. That's not a bad one. However, Carroll is also in charge of developing this talent. So to me, blaming John Schneider is reasonable, but I'm focusing much more of my ire on Carroll than Schneider. Nathaniel Martin, thank you for the $4.99. If Pete were to step down, do you think it would be better to go get somebody new or promote Shane? Well, I would promote Shane, but I will say this. I know he's not ready. There is no way that Shane Waldron's ready for a head coaching job. So if you promote Shane Waldron, you're kind of admitting that this season isn't going to be anything very good. You're kind of being like, okay, we're just going to use this as a learning experience for the team in 2022. We're going to hope he gets up to speed quickly and we can do something good in 2022 and beyond. Because the offense has been okay through 3 games overall. I do think Waldron is doing some things that I like. He's also doing some things that I don't like, but I do think he's showing promise in that regard. But just because he's showing promise there does not mean he will take to a head coaching job. Look at Jimmy Lake at Washington right now. Amazing defensive back coach, amazing defensive coordinator, but he cannot be a good head coach. Do you think it was a big issue to not find a way to re-sign Shaquille Griffin? No. I mean, last I checked, Jacksonville's 0-3, right? And Shaq isn't exactly killing it out there, so no. So I very much am going to advocate for Pete Carroll stepping down immediately, but I firmly believe that there is no more success. There will be no more happy times with Carroll at the helm. It's time to do something different. Should we kick LJ and get Atkins? You may as well. LJ Collier, clearly this coaching staff is done with him. Clearly this coaching staff is completely done with him. So, yeah. So, let's see here. I will be mad if we lose Russ because of Pete and Norton. At this point, it's hard to believe that we keep Russ. It seems like it's too little too late at this point. We waited too long. If we had fired Pete last year, then maybe Russell would have bought into like a 1-year rebuild followed by something special in 2022. But now it's like, okay, are we going to have to waste 2022 on a rebuild too, and then maybe we're good by 2023? I don't think he'll go for that. So I don't know how we keep Wilson. I really don't. At this point, it's really hard. It's getting hard to imagine. Russ is not playing good, though. I thought Russ played really good today. He made like one bad throw. I don't have a problem with what Wilson did at all today. Wilson has not demanded a trade yet, as far as I know. Seahawks often have a slow start. Well, Guess what? You're in the toughest division in football. A slow start kills your season. This isn't like in years past when the Cardinals were bad and the Niners were up and down and the Rams were bad for a long time. Yeah, Wiggy Games. I mentioned that in my video today. This is the second straight game that Jordan Brooks ended up in the doghouse. So Pete clearly doesn't like him. So why did we draft him? Why did we draft him? I think we would be better off playing a straight Tampa 2 defense with two high safeties and the majority of the time with the corners playing bump and run. You got to do something better than what I'm seeing right now. Like, this is... And Niners touchdown at the gun here. 17-7 Green Bay. Yeah, Darrell Taylor, I thought, played okay today. He was the one guy on defense who stood out to me in any way, shape, or form. Mason Dahl, if Jody Allen wants to fire Pete Carroll, she can, but I don't think that she will. Was Brooks a Schneider guy? I kind of feel like that's probably the case, Standard Champion. If Brooks was a Carroll guy, why is Carroll benching him every time he does one bad thing? How would you feel about Eric Bieniemy? Sure. But you got to hire him to be the head coach, obviously. Alton Robinson didn't really stand out with this opportunity. I guess not. Yeah, I didn't see his number get called, but I don't know how much he played. I don't know why people are hating on Wilson this week. I hated on Wilson a little bit last week because I thought he didn't play very well at the end. But today, I think Wilson played great. It's not his fault he never has the ball because our defense can't get off the damn field. If Pete doesn't get fired or step down and it's the same old crap, what do we do as fans? You stop going to games, you stop buying merchandise. That's all you can do as a fan. That's the only way you can affect change, and it can't just be you. Yeah, Rasheem Green hasn't done anything. Dale? Okay. We let KJ Wright go over Brooks bullshit. Well, letting KJ Wright go was the correct move. Letting KJ Wright go was the right thing to do. But as a coaching staff, you need to teach other people how to guard those screens. Period. If you cannot find other players capable of playing well, then what do you then you suck as a coach and should not have your job. Like, what are we going to do? Just keep KJ Wright for 30 years because he's the only guy in the universe we can get who can stop screens? No, you teach other people to stop screens. I thought Brooks got hurt, not benched. He got benched in this game. What is up with our team offense stalling every second half and defense falling every second half? It's coaching. I got to believe it's second half adjustments. Klasda, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you think that it's Waldron running this offense, or do you think Carroll has his hands in that cookie jar as well? If the team rebuilds, how many players in our picks do you think we could get? I have no idea what we could get in terms of players and or picks if we rebuild. That's really hard to judge. But I think Waldron, other than maybe a little bit in that Titans game, is pretty well in control of the offense. And I think that Waldron's doing fine so far overall, given who he is and what he is. I'm not mad about what Waldron is doing at all. See, like, I see people in the chat talking about Trey Flowers, talking about Kyle Fuller, talking about a player like a KJ Wright, talking about this player or that player, like we should have kept this guy like Shaq. Guys, this team has a ton of talent. I maybe you guys disagree with that, but I think this team is talented. Like, do you think adding a tiny bit more talent is going to push us over the edge? If we can't win with this talent, why would you want to go get more talent? It's just going to be talent wasted. This is about coaching. This is about scheme. This is about something more than just talent. Austin Roberts, member for 11 months. Wow, cool. You are almost at 1 year. Pete looks in over his head and needs to go. I think I'm completely in that camp now. Somewhere Chris Richard is laughing. I always felt like Chris Richard got done dirty. Now, firing him was not unreasonable because we were basically cleaning house that offseason anyway. But, yeah, Chris Richard, was pretty good. Adams hasn't improved coverage. Adams actually has been fine in coverage this year, I think. I'm going to have to look at the numbers from this game. But the problem with Adams is not coverage. The problem with Adams is he's not making any plays. I do think you were a bit too high on our slot corners. We may like them, but they haven't proved they can be adjusting Coleman type slots for us yet. Blair has been hurt and Ugo hasn't solidified slot. Ugo played good last year. He played awful today, though. I have no idea what the hell happened with Ugo today. He was miserable. Should we sign Geno Atkins? Sure. Why not? But I don't see how players are going to fix this, guys. We have talent. Unless you're going to try to tell me that every single defensive back on this team forgot how to play football. If anybody wants to tell me that in the chat right now, go ahead, but you're not going to get me to agree with that. I don't think all these defensive backs forgot how to play football this year. I think they're being put in bad situations. I think Adams blitzed once or twice, Michael. I can remember one specifically. You didn't read my message? Sorry, Brian. The chat's moving really quickly. I already said that, if you have to, if you have a comment you really want me to see, then you just have to super chat it or get lucky. Would you rather have Pete Carroll or Jim Mora Jr.? I guess I would rather have Pete than Jim Mora Jr., but you got to open the door to find out what's on the other side. I don't know, Tumbo. A lot of those plays, a receiver is just wide open. I don't know if I agree with that. So many plays, a receiver is just wide open. And it just seems like he was schemed open, or it's just part of the defensive scheme that he's open. At this point, would you prefer center or Geno? Whichever. I don't care that much. I guess a center, but you got to replace LJ Collier's imaginary production. Like if we were getting beat by a step or two on some of these plays, then whatever. But guys are just wide open for big plays, not even small plays. Right, guy. Thank you for the $1.99. The sad thing is, we know nothing will change. You may be right, maybe so, but we have to try. I can't just sit here and pretend like things are okay when they're not. Oh, the players care. Alejandro. DK is now showing that he cares. Yeah, the players care. The players are not slacking. The players are not giving up. The players are not like, I don't see these players just like not being interested in this game. I don't see the players just like sleepwalking through the game. They're giving effort. It's just we're still losing. Now, I will say this. I will say this. I've counted them out before, and they have surprised me. I counted them out in 2014, and they went to the Super Bowl. I counted them out in 2015. They made the divisional round. So I have counted them out before, and they figured it out in time to save the season. Do you think Pete will switch it up or just not change? He'll do some stuff, but I don't think it's going to be significant enough. And honestly, it might be too late. It might be too late. Like, you put yourself in this 1-2 hole. There are two teams in your division that are 3-0. And by the way, the Rams just played probably their hardest game of the year and won it easily. Like, you might already be in too deep a hole to dig out of to win the division. And as a wild card, like, you can try, but you're probably not going to get to where you want to get to. Yeah, exactly, Tumbo. This is not going to be a fun run. Austin Roberts, thank you for the $5. Fans need to stop blaming the players, even if they are bad, who brought them in here. Everything comes back on Pete. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to get to, Austin. The The players, the players are kind of like the passengers on the Titanic. The Titanic crashes into an iceberg. Are you going to blame the passengers because they didn't all move to the right of the ship to force the ship to turn to the right so it could avoid the iceberg? No, you blame the captain. When do we blow it up then? We might be blowing it up now. I mean, if this keeps up, we might do a fire sale before the trade deadline. It's not impossible. I don't think we will. I think we are going to win some games to keep hope alive, but I believe it's possible. Trey Flowers said that him lacking in coverage is a scheme issue. I saw that. I saw that. And he's correct. I absolutely believe that. I don't think Trey Flowers is good, though. So. I don't think Tumbo, Pete would not take a demotion. He would leave before. That would be, in his mind, a humiliation. What do you mean Brooks got carted off, didn't he? Yes, he got carted off, but he's fine, and he was benched before that for a drive because he did something that Pete didn't like. This is the same stuff that happened to Blair, by the way. Blair would make one mistake and then get benched by Carroll because Carroll didn't like him. So the fact that this is happening to Brooks makes me believe that Brooks is also somebody that Pete doesn't really like that much. What do you think about Sherm? I don't care about Sherm. If you want to get him, fine, but I don't think it matters. Well, yeah, Norton's had to go for a long time. But my problem is it's too late. Carroll should have fired him 2 years ago. Carroll should have fired him last year. Carroll should have fired him in the middle of the season last year. You could have fired him 100 different times. If he fires him now, it's too late. What about Sherman as a coach? One day, maybe. Yeah, Kalazda, I'm pretty happy about that. It's the only thing I'm happy about right now. I am happy about the fact that we hit our membership goal and subscription goal for the month already, though. That's pretty cool. Shout out to everybody for that. Pete is the top dog. That's why nothing is changing. I'm not saying she will, but I'm sorry. Jody Allen has the power to fire Carroll if she wants to. I just assume that she won't. Yes, the Mariners did win. Pretty happy about that. Do you think Russ will leave at the end of the year? Right now, it's very hard for me to imagine Russell is here next year. Like you kept him and then you didn't give him the support that he wanted, or at least the support you got him is not showing up in ways that are helping us win games. Game stream tonight, probably drop top. I'm probably gonna start Persona. I don't know. I gotta throw myself into something to forget this crap. Austin Roberts, thank you for the $5. The thing is, not every player is bad, which makes it even more frustrating and why I'm so done. Yeah, I don't think the player core. I don't think our players are bad. I think we have a lot of good players. I think we're talented. I do. I think we have a deep and talented defensive line, and I refuse to believe that this defense has all forgotten how to play football. That's what it looked like today. Yeah, I do want to get Josh Gordon, Tumbo, but that's not fixing the problem. What do you think is the worst issue of our defense, players, coaches, etc.? Oh, it's coaches. I think I've said that a couple times already. I'm not even mad at the players. I can't get mad at the players. I don't know how good some of these players are. I think the coaches put them in terrible situations. John Randolph, welcome to the membership club, buddy. Appreciate it. Any thoughts on the idea that maybe Carroll is grooming his son to take over? Seems likely given the nepotism in this league. If that happens, it's going to be hard to watch the team. If he hires his son or lets his son take over as head coach, it's going to be very hard to even stomach watching this team. That is disgusting to imagine. Oh my God. Even if he ends up being good, which is unlikely, even if he ends up being good, you know why he got that job. I don't know what Jamal did in coverage today. And by the way, again, I'm going to say it again. Everybody on this team sucked in coverage today. Everyone on this team sucked in coverage today. So for me, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, Jamal sucked in coverage, but so did everyone else. So who are we really going to put this one on? Hold on one second, guys. I think my microphone isn't working the way I want it to. Okay, I think that fixed it. An accountability meeting? Yeah. Well, one thing I'll say in Carroll's mild defense, and this is not much, but I'll say this. Carroll got in the butts of a couple of players last week. Carroll got up their butts a little bit, and I appreciated that. But it's not enough. And clearly the team is not really tuned into what Carroll is doing, or what he's doing is just idiotic from the jump. Yeah, probably. I'm probably going to do a video game stream later, Drop Top. I thought I already said that. Yeah, Ugo flipped the game with that holding call. Ugo had a terrible game. But it doesn't excuse all the stuff that happened after it. The Achilles heel of this defense is not knowing how to diagnose and stop screens. Happened 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, we're not coached for that. That's one of those things that makes me feel like this coaching staff needs to be swapped out. So, should we hope for a resurgence or to just be trash so it'll force the cleaning of the house? Oh, hope for a resurgence. My God. My God. Believe me, I want this team to go to a Super Bowl. I want this team to win the Super Bowl this year. I would much rather not rebuild than rebuild. But if we need to rebuild because we suck this year, then don't be in denial of that. Pete Carroll doesn't deserve to be fired, but I doesn't deserve to be fired. How how does he not deserve to get fired? He's had this job for over 10 years. I don't understand that. He's had this job for over 10 years. And he's had 4 years to rebuild this defense, and it still sucks. What does he have to do to deserve getting fired? Showing up with no pants on? I don't get it. Like, what do you need to see from Carroll to think that he deserves to get fired? Amatus, thank you for the 1090 in whatever currency that is. Brazil here. So what is that? Like, what is the Brazilian? Excuse me. What is Brazilian currency? We are getting worse year after year. Brazil here feels like it. This feels like the worst team since 2017, and it could be worse than that team. That team had a load of talent, and the offensive line and injuries killed them. This team could easily be worse than that. He's a master motivator. I don't know if I can agree with that right now, Peter Ford. I don't know if I agree. Right, guy, thank you for the $1.99. For me, at least, I have the Ducks to fall back on. Well, hopefully I'll have the Mariners to fall back on, but did the Yankees win today? Does anybody know? Off topic, but did the Yankees win? Okay, so 1090 Brazilian real is about $2. Okay, cool. So thank you for the $2, Amadia. Amadou. The real. Okay, that's interesting. I would have Blue Jays did, so it doesn't matter. Well, we already tied with the Blue Jays, so that's fine. Now maybe the Red Sox are going to completely fall apart somehow, which that would be fine too. Quandre Diggs wanted to burst into flames. It's the scheme. Yeah, Diggs. Diggs is about ready to lose his mind, I feel like. And Diggs knows that he's losing money with every game that goes by where he doesn't do jack. Fire Ken Norton? Yeah, I'm fine with firing Ken Norton. But let me tell you guys. Let me tell you guys this. I'm gonna say it. Um, Norton is just a figurehead. Is just a puppet for Carroll. Like, I don't think things are gonna change that much if you fire Norton. Now Norton needs to go because he sucks, but I don't think things get that much better. Keith Maddox, Pete's downfall will be his loyalty to his coaches. Yeah, just demote him to like a defensive assistant, and take over the defense. Like what's so hard about that? This was a Vikings team without their best player. They didn't have their best player. Do you think it matters that we have built this defense around less important positions like safety and linebacker? Well, I don't hate the work we did bringing in pass rushers this offseason, but right now they're not playing it well at all. And again, I cannot assume that they all forgot how to play football. They didn't forget how to play football. They they're just not being put in good positions. I swear if Pete pulls a Bill O'Brien move on us, I will never forgive Pete for that shit. I'm assuming the owner wouldn't let him. Remember, the Texans' ownership was in flux when the Hopkins trade happened. They basically didn't have an owner. That's why Bill O'Brien didn't get fired for years. Yeah, CJ Kurzman, that's kind of what Oklahoma does. Oklahoma Sooners basically do that a lot of years, so it's not unprecedented. Now, different game, but still. The thing is, we really can't have a bad season. We don't have a first round pick. Exactly. Is the season over if we lose next week? In terms of anything good happening, yeah. Well, all it took was a Dunlap to change that defense last year. If we can get a shutdown corner, it may not completely change the defense, but it could help. We have way more talent on the defense this year than last year, and I'm still seeing the same crappy results. So, again, I just can't put it on the players anymore. Last year, you could make a very good argument. You could have made a very good argument last year that our pass rush just lacked talent. But this year, I don't think you can. These guys are talented. These guys have been good in other situations on other teams in previous years. They didn't all just forget how to play football. That doesn't happen. Our defense is officially the Legion of Room. I kind of like that. Why is Jimmy G still playing? Because Trey Lance isn't ready. He's very inexperienced. I just don't see Carroll giving us anything right now. I would rather go to Shane Waldron and see what he can do and understand that he's going to make a lot of mistakes because he's new, but give him a chance to get some experience. I don't think you can do worse. Why do we have Penny and Flowers still? Well, Flowers is not the problem, and Penny's injured. Like, all you're going to do is cut him. You can't trade him. Niners inside the 10. Steve Goldson, do you think we're going to go better than 7 and 10 this year with what we see right now? Is this the downfall? Possibly. Possibly. Lockett was fine, Alejandro. Lockett's fine. Okay, Yankees are going to sweep the Red Sox, which is fine if the Red Sox lose some games, but they have really crappy competition. It's time, blow it up. I think that's where we're headed, Pelagius. I really do. I know Waldron is not ready to be a head coach, but you may as well. What do you have to lose at this point? I don't think you have that much to lose because I don't see nothing with this team right now. How can we force Pete to go? You can't. You can't. Has the observation of talent just lost its way with the Hawks? We're obviously not finding talent the way we used to, but in the draft. But I still think this is an overall pretty talented team. Norton should go back to LB coach. This team is devoid of talent. Yeah, you week 2K. I don't agree with that. I don't think that all these players that have been good on other teams in other situations, even in other seasons for this team, all forgot how to play football. Like Trey Flowers was good, his was decent his first 2 years. DJ Reed was good last year. Carlos Dunlap was good for a decade in Cincinnati and good here last year. And now they all can't do anything. I'm not going to say they all forgot how to play football. I'm not going to say they suddenly had the Monstars from Space Jam steal all their talent. What the? No, no. Why is this here? Get out of here. Go away. Thank you. I'm going to say it again. To me, blaming players on this team is like blaming the passengers on the Titanic. And if Carroll had just gotten here this year or last year, then obviously, yeah, things would be different. But he's been here a long time and he's had every chance to build this team. And yeah, like you trade for Jamal Adams, and Jamal Adams is an amazing player. I do believe that, but it doesn't seem like you had any plan on how you were going to utilize him in a way that made sense. Move Jamal Adams to linebacker. I mean, we're not creative enough to do stuff like that. Although honestly, I think you could make an argument that the problem with the defense is that it's trying to be too creative. We need to just play rush four, cover seven. We need to just try to keep it simple right now and stop giving up these massive cushions so we can try to blitz, and the blitzes don't work. Like you maybe I don't know if you could have, but maybe you trade for Chris Jones and you get yourself a dominant pass rushing defensive tackle. That probably helps this team a lot more than Jamal Adams. Um, no, I don't think you can give up on Brooks yet, and I don't see what bringing in Jamie Collins does for you. Like, even if Collins is a little better than Brooks, your team is still has all these problems. Who was scouting for Seahawks during slash before the Legion of Boom? Well, there was the alcoholic. Somebody in chat's gonna have to remember his. Oh, Scott McLaughlin. He was assistant GM for us for those 3 years, and then he left. I think partially because he was an alcoholic, but he may have been the brains behind the operation. We need to play more risky in certain situations, yes, but I think that one problem that we're having is that we might be blitzing too much, and the blitzes don't work, and they leave us wide open to terrible things happening in the secondary. Just maybe you just need to rush four, cover seven on every play. That's what Matty F. Brown's been saying on Twitter. Like, instead of doing all this complex stuff that involves the cornerbacks dropping 20 yards back, just keep it simple, straightforward, and tell them to actually, play defense. Try to stop a short play. But I mean, I've just seen enough, guys. I've seen enough. Nothing wrong with Pete's philosophy. We just don't have the players to execute it. Okay, then change the philosophy. As a coach, it's your job to work with the players that you have and work with the talent that you have. It's like Mike D'Antoni benching um benching Pau Gasol for Earl Clark because he wanted a power forward who could shoot threes. And it's like, no, you adjust your scheme to work with Pau Gasol, one of the best players in the league, and you don't give him Earl Clark Pau Gasol's minutes because Earl Clark can shoot threes slightly better because guess what? Earl Clark is garbage. Even Tom Landry got fired? Yeah. This is all a means to an end. If suffering now means losing Pete later, I'll take that. Pete needs to leave. Yeah, I just wonder what else you're going to lose in the process. Do you lose Wilson? Do you lose Metcalf? Do you lose everything? Like, is lose getting rid of Pete losing everything? I mean, I think that is possibly what's going to happen. We don't have a say in whether or not that's what happens. So, if it happens, it happens. I get that. But I don't know. Hopefully, it's a either Pete goes or Russ goes situation. But if I'm Pete, I'm sorry, if I'm Russ, I don't want to go through transitional 2022 and then maybe be ready to compete by 2023. Like that sucks. I would hope that the coaching staff is, I would hope that the ownership is smart enough to know that Pete goes before Russ goes, but who knows? Jody Allen doesn't seem to care that much about this team unless we make it affect her the money she's making. So, I don't go to games anyway. I don't buy very much merchandise anyway, but maybe that's the answer. But this is not the Texans. This is not the Texans. The Texans, when they had the Bill O'Brien crap going on, they had no owner, basically. They literally had no owner. We have an owner. Now, that owner may not be interested in doing anything and might let Pete coach until he's 103. Windsurfer, get the hell out of here, dude. Cam Newton isn't even on a team. What the hell? Where did that come from? I don't know where some of these comments come from sometimes. Yes, Mason. Yes, Mason, you're absolutely right. Jake Curhan did look pretty good. I was very impressed with Jake Curhan for what he is, but it's like a tiny little minnow in the ocean. Well, Dylan Murphy, it's not just that we're 1-2. It's that this defense, which has had a ton of resources pumped into it, a ton of time put into letting it gel, and has had all this stuff in place for years. Got a chance to bring in a bunch of pieces this offseason. They've used high draft picks, all this stuff. And the defense is ass. The defense is terrible. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, guys. I don't know what else to say about it anymore. Like, I said this offseason that if the defense was not good immediately, I was gonna say some pretty strong stuff. And the defense sucks. So Trey Brown should be back this week, Brandon Lux. But again, I don't see how one player is gonna change anything. And here's the thing. I said this in my pregame video for the Vikings game, but I'll say it again. The 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 current NFL, it's really hard to be a good defense. It is. It's really hard to have a good defense. So either you have to be one of the 3 or 4 teams that can have a good defense, or you have to say, screw defense, let's just build offense. We didn't do either. We suck on defense, and we invested heavily into the defense at the expense of the offense. So that to me is the deal breaker. Get out. At that point, get out. Why have a defensive first head coach if your defense is still going to suck? Why invest all this crap into the defense if it's still going to suck? And again, we are going to the Vikings offense with no Dalvin Cook is maybe not even one of the better offenses we play this year. The Cardinals offense is probably better. The Rams offense is definitely better. The shoot Saints offense might be about as good. Um, you guys know what I'm getting at. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Continuously being bad in the second half is all coaching. I kind of agree because second half adjustments are a thing. But I'll say it again. I don't have anything negative to say about the offense today, really. Yes, they had problems, but I'm not mad at the offense. Well, U Week 2K, no unit on this team is currently playing excellent right now. They're not playing excellent. I believe that we have a very impressive stable of defensive linemen, but they're all not playing well right now. My point is that they didn't all forget how to play football. They're not being used well. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think they are talented. And yes, Viraj, thank you. 5.5K subs. The Seahawks have allowed 13 scoring drives on 20 non-kneel down possessions this year. That is worst in the league caliber. And again, we dumped resources into it. So to me, there's no conversation that you even need to have. You don't even need to discuss it. You have a defensive first head coach who spends on the defense, and the defense is terrible. Get him out of here today. I'm honestly, this isn't even anger talking. This isn't even. I promise this is not me getting just being pissed off. I promise. He needs to go today. He needs to be relieved of his duties today. We threw everything we had defensively at the Vikings. Well, Dylan, technically that's true, but nothing you had was any good, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any excuses for why nothing worked, because nothing worked. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. They have also ditched the bare fronts and gone to the useless five-man D-line. Need to retire the five-man D-line, maybe play some more dime, get Brooks off the field, and put Neal on the field. We're probably going to try something like that just because we got to try different stuff because things are so bad right now, but I'm just not convinced any of it can work. Who'd be the one to fire Pete? The only one who can fire Pete is Allen, Jody Allen. You're not going to be able to get Eric Bieniemy right now. You can't really hire anybody from another team if you fire Pete right now. Fire Pete right now, you're promoting Waldron, and I'm cool with that. At what point does Schneider take some of the blame? Oh, I have no problem giving Schneider some of the blame, but Schneider's defensible. He has done some good things. Schneider does do some things well. Carroll, I don't think he does anything well anymore. Pete has tried something new in the past. It's happened before. I just don't think anything we do in terms of those kinds of things is going to make anything better. Produce section, thank you for the $5 super chat. Remediation is needed right now. Talented players can be adjusted and trained to new or familiar processes. Jody needs counsel regarding Pete's status. Yeah, but Jody Allen answers to nobody, especially because we have a good fan base that is going to show up to every game. We have a fan base that is going to continue to pay their ridiculous prices for parking and food and merchandise. So Jody has no Pete. He answers to nobody. As for talented players can be adjusted or trained to new or familiar processes, well, that should have been done in the off season. That shouldn't happen now when the season's already started. That should have been done in training camp, OTAs, rookie minicamp, preseason, etc. You don't do this now. Give me Rex Ryan. I mean, I would try it. I don't think it would work, but I don't think this is working either. Jody Allen probably doesn't even know how football works. She doesn't. And she doesn't need to. That's fine. I don't need her to know how football works. I just need her to fire a homie when it's time to fire the homie. Well, I agree more or less, Tian. I think that's probably the case. So, is she going to lose money because the team isn't playing any good? Like, I mean, she's going to lose something, right? Chad, that is absolutely not true. We have not dominated the NFC West for the last decade plus. We have won the division in, let me think here, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2020. We have lost the division more times than we have won the division. We have gotten wild card berths as many times as we have won the division, I think. So, no, not true. Perhaps that is the counsel that is needed, a single game blackout. Well, that's not going to happen, but as fans, it's all we can do. Why haven't we signed Geno Atkins? I don't know. But I would sign Geno Atkins. Don't get me wrong. That's a good idea. But one player is not going to fix this. This is not a player problem to me. Yeah, and the thing is, we were trailing at halftime. We were trailing at halftime, and we didn't adjust at halftime. Last week, we were ahead by 15 points. I kind of understood it. Will Pete mortgage our draft again to make some splash? I don't see it. I don't see it this year. I don't, you week 2K, I don't think our talent on offense is as bad as you think. I think a lot of teams would kill to have Lockett and Metcalf as your 1-2 at receiver. There aren't that many teams that have a better 1-2 at receiver than Metcalf and Lockett. Everett and Disley is at least a decent tight end group. Carson's probably a top 10 running back. It's not that bad. Now, maybe the offensive line, not getting a center this offseason is inexcusable, and it's becoming worse and worse with each passing day. But can Schneider fire Carroll? I doubt it. Did Jamal do anything? Not really, but nobody did anything. Like if you the only player on defense who did anything was Daryl Taylor. He had a nice strip sack. Everyone else, the answer is no. They didn't do anything. Yeah, exactly, David. That's what I'm saying. I can't get mad at this offense at all, really. We never had the ball because the defense could not get off the field. I think we had 3 minutes of time of possession in the second half. Oh, week 2K, that can't be true. We had the number one defense in the league in 2015. I remember that. I think in terms of points allowed, we were number one in the league on defense in 2015. So I don't think that's true. 2016, we were going to be again, but then Earl broke his leg, and then we gave up 1 billion points to Arizona. Yeah, we traded for Jamal Adams and decided we were going to use him like Bradley McDougald. Why not just keep Bradley McDougald at that point and then trade for Chris Jones or something? Like, you put Jamal Adams on Tampa Bay, he'd be amazing. But it seems like we traded for the dude and then didn't, like, actually think it all the way through. Oh, Seahawks Productions, I'm not losing hope, but I don't think this team is good. And I got to be real about things. I got to be real. I mean, I'm going to make videos every week about the Seahawks. I'm going to watch every game and hope we do well. But right now it's bad, and you're already 2 games back in the division of 2 teams. Like, this is a problem. I think we maybe can win some games despite Pete Carroll, but we're not. But I don't think Carroll's the guy. Wait, Cookie Eater, are you for real? Somebody's gonna have to double check that for me. I don't know. I again, guys, I can't judge these players. I think these players. I don't know how good these players are. I think the coaching staff just puts them in shitty situations constantly. Okay, that's Cap. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so hard to unseat Pete, but I feel like it has to happen. Um, I mean, Tom Landry stuck around for a couple years after his expiration date, and eventually the Cowboys had to fire him. They were like, okay, you're not going to leave on your own, then you leave us no choice. One thing this front office can do is scout quarterbacks. We apparently loved Mahomes and Josh Allen. Yeah, but would those guys be as good if they weren't in such good situations? Don't get beat deep equals get beat short and gas the defense. Exactly, might be. And in some situations, you just can't do that. Adams was another desperate last minute move made by Schneider to compensate for bad drafting and ineffective free agent signings. We'll never know. We'll never know, but I think Carroll was behind the Adams trade. I don't think that was Schneider. I think at least it was more Carroll than Schneider. I think Schneider would have preferred to keep those picks. But we'll never know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right here, but I believe that. I think that's the case. How does our O line get demolished on certain plays? Oh, Kyle Fuller's just weak, but honestly, I don't think the offensive line was that bad today. It gave up a couple plays in the second half, but other than that, I don't hate the way our offensive line played. Well, yeah, bend but don't break is a horrible philosophy because all we do is bend and then break. Matthew Roberts, because he and Carroll are best friends. That's all there is to it. He and Carroll are friends. That's why he's still here. That's all there is to it. I would honestly have more respect for Carroll if he just came out tomorrow and said, "I'm clearly not the right guy for this team. I'm clearly not the right guy to get this team playing the way they need to play. So I'm going to step down." I just go out with your head up. Don't force us to fire you. Well, Pandalorian, yeah, you may as well use your cap space on something. But again, how is that gonna? I keep saying it, guys. I don't think players are gonna fix this. Not any players you can get now. Like if you could go get a Jalen Ramsey, of course, but you can't get Jalen Ramsey. You get Richard Sherman, who is as liable to get drunk in the locker room and beat the crap out of somebody than he is to actually help you on the field. Yeah, I've heard about that Sam Fifth, but we'll never know if that's true or not. I've never heard that, Rodney, but I guess I can believe it. Gilmore's injured and can't play until like week 7 or something. And when he gets back, he's probably not going to be right. The OL does not stink out loud EU week 2K. It stunk in the second half a little bit. But they ran block well for Carson for the most part the whole game, and Wilson got sacked twice. Like the offensive line was fine. I don't know what I don't know what you're expecting, but I was actually pretty happy with them for the most part. When is next Collins stream? I don't know, Austin. The Jamal trade was 100% a Pete Carroll thing. Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like Schneider would not have done that trade. Trey Brown can play this week, I think. They've said that he can play. I know we don't really need this, but do you think they'll bring back Josh Gordon? Yes, I do think we'll bring back Josh Gordon, and I'm happy about that. I don't think he's going to fix anything, but I do think he can help in a few areas. And at the end of the day, maybe you just have to outscore everybody. Oh, yeah, Seahawks dangerous. Believe me, I'm going to watch every game. I'm going to watch every game. But the problems to me are upstairs. I'm not seeing the players play lackadaisical or lazy. I'm not seeing the players just not give a crap. I'm just seeing them not make plays and not winning. Well, Lockett was back in the game after he got hurt, so he's obviously fine, right? Unless he tore his ACL and went back out there in garbage time. Like, what are you, stupid? Well, Danny, I don't mind him doing that with Barton. I don't think Barton's good, but Brooks Brooks needs to learn. Brooks needs to be put out there to learn. Um, the center position is maybe a bigger problem. Like Kyle Fuller's not good. I don't think he played terrible today, but he's not good. And I don't think he played good today either, really. So you got to do better there. And you had every chance to do better this offseason, and you didn't. Penny Hart had a chance to make a great catch at the end there, and he couldn't bring it in. I know he got interfered with. I do think that was PI, but the game was already over. I'm not that mad about it. I honestly think Barton is better than Brooks. If he is, that's really sad, and that's another reason to fire people because you can't draft. I mean, Brooks was a first round pick less than 2 years ago, and you're already doghousing him because he makes one bad play? No, you leave him out there. Do you think Russell Wilson will leave? I have a hard time seeing him staying right now. Yeah, I saw the Packers touchdown hung. I don't know if I don't hate Barton, but there's no way if he's better than Brooks, then that's sad. Barton is slow and doesn't belong on the field. I feel like Barton's okay in coverage, and maybe he's a decent blitzer, but Brooks is has so much more potential. Yeah, well, yeah, Fuller's inexperienced at making calls because he's inexperienced playing football in general. But yeah, you had a chance to get somebody who could have been a good amount better, and you didn't. They traded away their entire O line in favor of defense, and they look amazing. Yeah, the Raiders look good. They're not making plays because they're not good compared to their competition. What would it take to make you say we don't have talent? Why were these guys good before? Why were these guys good on other teams? Why were these guys good for this team last year in some cases? Like, what, you think everybody on this defense forgot how to play football all at the same time? No, that's impossible. That's mathematically impossible. I know that sometimes it's fun to pretend that we have one guy on this team who's Michael Jordan and everyone else is Brian Scalabrine. And but I don't think that I don't see it. I don't think everybody on this team just forgets how to play football except for one guy. Like before this season, I was looking at this defensive line and thinking, man, we go like 10 deep with guys who belong on a football field. And other than maybe one or two guys, everybody looks like ass. So did they all just become ass at the same time? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't think that happens. I think Brooks has Aaron Curry mentality, all athleticism and zero football smarts. Aaron Curry, like, that's an all time low IQ player. I don't want to compare him to Curry quite yet. That seems a little mean, but he has made a couple mistakes in the last couple weeks. I don't really agree with benching him, though. I don't know about that. Yeah, BK voiceover. It seems like that's the case. Do you think our front office has the balls to fire Pete? Absolutely not. Another PI. There have been like 8 million pass interferences in this game. Jeez. Yeah, that's another thing, none of your business. I think Brooks is a middle linebacker who's playing out of position right now because we drafted him when we still had Bobby Wagner. So, Bobby Wagner, you got to get going this offseason. At least with a rebuild, you can get great young talent that can be the future of the team. Yeah, but you got to get somebody in who can find them, and we haven't drafted well lately. Well, I mean, I told you I was going to do it. I told you I was going to do it. If the defense was bad this year, I said a million times, if the defense is bad this year, I'm going to hold people accountable. There's no one else to blame but him. If you want to get mad at players, that's fine. Some of these players probably aren't very good, but there's a much bigger problem. And I don't know, but I would guess that the Hawks nest is over there right now saying some of the same things that I'm saying. Middle and weak side linebacker are very similar positions. That's true. That's true. But I still think Jordan Brooks is kind of waiting for his turn to play middle linebacker. Awesome gamer. I don't think our offense sucked at all. I don't have a problem with the way our offense played at all. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but we're implementing a new scheme. Of course, it's not perfect. We had 4 scoring drives in the first half. I think we picked up at least 1 first down on every single one of our possessions. Like, the defense needs to do something at some point. I just don't understand why our front office didn't fix our corner position before the season started. They tried to, but they got a complete turd. And they might have turds there anyway, but I look, if you get Jalen Ramsey and you tell Jalen Ramsey to play 20 yards off the receiver, he's going to suck too. So can't tell me it's just the corners. Oh yeah, I mean I agree. I'm actually one of the few people. I get people mad at me for saying that the Jordan Brooks pick was bad, and that's true even if Jordan Brooks is a good player. But it's a bad pick. Yeah, if Pete can't find good cornerbacks anymore, then what good is he for? What good is he? That was like one of his strengths. And for a little bit there it was like his only strength, and now he can't even do that. The coaches for being unable to develop talent or the front office for being unable to identify it, BK voiceover. Well, it's kind of the same person, right? Because Carroll is the assistant GM as much as he is head coach. Well, even though he didn't play very well today, I do think Alton Robinson could be like a Richard Sherman type steal. I love Alton Robinson. I think he's great. I think he's awesome, but remains to be seen. And that doesn't make up for the first round issues. Oh, Field Goals wrote an article earlier this week about one idea for a trade you could make. Taylor Decker from I think the Lions, and the Lions are now 0-3. So Taylor Decker could immediately replace Brandon Shell and next year replace Dwayne Brown. Thoughts? Everybody in the chat, let me know what you think about that one. How do you fix this defense? I don't think you do. I think it's schematic. I don't think it's the play. I don't think the players are that bad. Lions have a good seat. I don't think they're going to trade Ragnow though. I think they'll keep Ragnow. But Taylor Decker they might trade because they drafted penile implant or whatever his name is. Penile Sewell, whatever. Yeah, Alton Robinson dropping back into coverage makes me very sad. Rather replace the center than the tackles. Me too, but Who do you go get? Yeah, KJ Wright picked the right team, man. He's not playing that much though, but he is doing his thing. Yeah, Hazik. Some of these head coaches, and I'm not just talking about Carroll, need to just play Madden for a few months. You learn about these game management things. You learn how to manage the clock. Never heard of Taylor Decker? He's a tackle on the Lions. And they drafted penile implant, so I think they're going to be switching to him, and Taylor Decker's kind of in the odd man out, so they might trade him, and you could have him as your right tackle this year and left tackle the next year when Dwayne Brown retires. Yeah, BK voiceover. If that happens, I hope we're in on it, but Paradise, I don't think Wilson held onto the ball too long that much today. Maybe once or twice. But for the most part, he was finding his check down. He was getting the ball out of his hands. He was zipping it out to Metcalf as he was coming out of his break. Like, I think Wilson played really well today. I'm not mad at him at all. I put this one completely on the defense, really. You think we can make a trade for DeForest Buckner because the Colts are 0-3? The Colts might trade some players. They're not going to trade DeForest Buckner. He's too good. Again, Pete didn't use his timeouts at the end of the first half. Yeah, I think he was hoping that his defense was going to get a stop, which at this point is stupid. This defense will never get a stop. This defense doesn't know what a stop is. Just stop expecting it. Yeah, the Colts might trade some players. They're not going to trade a guy like Buckner. He's too good. That'd be like the Chiefs trading Pat Mahomes because if they have a bad season this year, which is possible, by the way. I'll take Ryan Kelly from Indy. That's not bad. They might do that. They might do that. I don't know if Ryan Kelly is amazing or if he just has the reputation of being amazing and is just okay. But yeah, Ryan Kelly's nice. And another thing about Carroll that gets on my nerves, he talks up these players and then they never do anything. 2 weeks ago, he said, "Oh yeah, we like L.J. Collier. We just didn't feel like he had a place in the Week 1 game against the Colts. We're gonna use L.J. Collier this year. We promise. We still think highly of him." And then he never plays again. Um, they talk up how Penny Hart looks amazing in training camp. Penny Hart, Wilson loves throwing the ball to Penny Hart, and then Penny Hart doesn't do shit. Like, just be honest. Just be a little more honest. You know who doesn't do stuff like that? Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick doesn't like go over the top effusively praising his third string players. I can't wait for your snap breakdown. Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna go up tomorrow afternoon. I think I got to make another Carol video tomorrow morning because I got more stuff I got to say because there are a couple people in my comment section that don't totally get it, and I got to get them to try to get it. Swain is not the problem, but he's a symptom of the problem. He's nowhere near a number 3 receiver in this league. I I pretty much that I kind of agree with. Now, obviously, Eskridge would be the number 3 receiver if he didn't have a dirty hit injury, but yeah, that I agree with. Swain is over underqualified for that job. I like him, but yeah. Draft Trent McDuffie? Okay. Yeah, Emmett, that was absolutely pass interference, but who cares? Not me. Well, yeah, Hazik, absolutely. But the biggest guy collecting a check right now to me is Carroll. I don't think Carroll's doing anything positive for this team right now. I see nothing with this team that I like from Carroll. Yeah, I want to see how much Alton Robinson played today. No Mayoa should mean that Alton Robinson plays a lot, but I don't know how much he played. We'll see. Well, yeah, none of your business. That's obviously true. The Amadi holding penalty was the turning point in the game, but just because you have a one crappy holding call doesn't mean the defense has an excuse to just screw off for the whole rest of the game. Let's go get Quentin Dunbar. Why? Didn't Russ don't like Carroll? We don't know. We can only assume. And even, yeah, Emmett, and by the way, even if our players are bad, then who brought them in? Who got them? Schneider and Carroll. Schneider and Carroll are the guys who bring these guys in. Alton was the starting Sam today. Yeah, see, I hate that. I don't want Alton Robinson playing linebacker. Let him play defensive end. Let him rush the passer. CJ, not right now, no. Hayden Henson, are you talking to me? What are you talking to me, Hayden Henson? Do you think we are wasting Russ's prime years? I don't know if Russ is still in his prime, but we definitely, to a certain extent, did waste his prime years. He was in the MVP race for 4 straight seasons, and I think we won 1 playoff game over that run. Hayden Henson, why are you here? Why did you come to my stream to just tell me to stop? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Go watch any other video on YouTube. Go watch literally any video on YouTube that isn't my video if you don't want to hear me. Just go. Jeez. Jesus. What the hell? There are probably 3 billion videos on this YouTube. You choose to watch mine and you don't want to hear what I have to say. Like, what the... Get the fuck out of here. If we get rid of Carroll, should we get rid of Schneider as well? I feel like those guys are connected at the hip. I feel like if you lose one, you lose the other automatically, but I don't know. Yankees won. Okay, maybe the Red Sox are going to fall apart here. I don't know. There's a couple of times you answer questions I never asked. Is there a duplicate Emmett? Possibly, but every comment I've read... Well, no. There's another guy in here named Emmett. His name is Emmett21 Gaming. Okay, yeah, Emmett, you're good. Yeah, David, I just remembered something. Last year, the Dallas Cowboys had a bunch of players, or not a bunch, but a few players come out after games criticizing the defensive scheme. You know, I think Brandon Carr was actually one of them. And as soon as they criticized the scheme, they would get cut. He was like if you came out criticizing Mike Nolan's defense, they were like, get out of here. I wonder if something happens with Trey Flowers too. Green Bay's up by 3 with 8 minutes left. Game is far from over. See, like, the Packers lost their superstar center in free agency. Aaron Rodgers still has all day to throw back there. Oh, Devontae Adams is down in a heap. What do you think will happen if we lose to the 49ers? Then I think it's duck season or rabbit season. It's a season. Yeah, Pete blames the CBs right now, so he's not down with that kind of criticism of his scheme. I mean, his scheme, I will concede his scheme has worked in the past. But you have to work with what you've got. You don't have Richard Sherman. You don't have a Richard Sherman. You have a Trey Flowers. I'm no Dead by Daylight tonight, Marcelo. I'm probably going to start Persona 4 and hope it doesn't crash on me like it did last time. I just don't know what Pete brings to the table anymore. And you know what? I'll be perfectly honest. I don't want to fire Pete because do appreciate some of the good things he did here, and I do want people to remember the good times. I would prefer him not to have the indignity of being fired, but if he refuses to acknowledge the fact that it's done and he's not the guy, then you're going to have to do it. And I'd prefer it to not come to that. Like, be a man. As a head coach, be a man, accept that you're not getting it done, and get out of here. Oh, that's cool, Shaneb. I think I'm gonna do Persona 4 tonight. My Dead by Daylight partner is not here tonight, so I am probably going to go ahead and start that. Yes. I said this in my video today, and I'll repeat it. There are Seahawks fans, and I know a few who are like 13 to 16 years old. They don't know the Super Bowl winning Hawks. They don't know that team. All they know is the Pete Carroll who holds the team back. All they know is the Pete Carroll who oversees a mediocre to bad defense and puts the handcuffs on our quarterback. Okay? There is a non-trivial demographic of Seahawks fans who are going to think of Pete Carroll as that that idiot who ruined everything. Now, I'm old enough to remember the Super Bowl. I'm old enough to remember the teams that finished number one in D 4 straight years. I'm not going to forget that. But there are kids who are Seahawks fans who don't. And they're just going to know Carroll as this idiot who can't do anything right. Is there a chance that we save this season? Of course. Dude, you're just a kid too? I am not a kid, okay? I'm 31 years old. There's no way I'm a kid. Dirty ass hit on Adams? I didn't see it. I don't know if it was dirty or not. I mean, I saw he got hit. I didn't see if it was dirty or not. Yeah, I'm not 20, guys. I'm not even close to 20. When's the last time you played your PS4? It's been a while. I'm probably going to replay God of War because the new God of War is coming out. But yeah, I haven't played it in a while. Do you think Trey could still get better? I think Trey is what he is at this point. But I'm also not convinced that what he is terrible. Firing Ken Norton would be the right thing to do. But again, it's just a tiny it's just a tiny part of the equation. Play Diablo 2. Shoo, that's been a long time since I played that one. Why not bench Trey? I think Trey will get benched for whatever it's worth, but I'm telling you, I don't think that's going to fix it. I don't think Sidney Jones is some Deion Sanders who's going to come in and chain and lock down the whole side of this field. I have not played Final Fantasy 14 yet. My friend loves it though. My best friend loves it, so I might play it at some point. Oh, have fun, Emmett. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I still haven't seen the original Venom. I should. No, Rye Guy. Joe Biden is Matt Patricia. There is only one comparison for Joe Biden in NFL coaches, and it is Matt Patricia. Joe Biden held Obama's clipboard, and Matt Patricia held Bill Belichick's clipboard. There is no other comparison to make. I'm not sure. Drop top. Not too long after this stream ends. At the end of the game. Packers D has not sucked for years. The Packers defense was good. Was actually solid in 2019. Their defense was better than their offense. What do you? Come on, you week 2K. I'm pretty sure their defense ranked higher than their offense in 2019. DJ Reed is worse than Flowers. See, this is what I'm saying. These guys play bad, and immediately you just turn on them. And like, if you're gonna call out DJ Reed, you should also call out Trey Flowers because they both suck today. And then you should call out Amadi. Then you should call out Quandre Diggs. Then you should call out Jordan Brooks. You should call out almost everybody on the defensive line except for maybe Daryl Taylor. And then you should call out Kyle Fuller. Like, where does it stop? When did you? When do you eventually go? You know what? I can sit here and put all the blame on 50 different players, or I can put the blame on a couple guys at the top who assembled the team and coached the team. Yeah, the Packers had a bad run defense in 2019, but their defense overall was actually quite good. They went 13-3 despite having a mediocre at best offense. Uh, I mean, every defensive coordinator the Seahawks get kind of does the same thing, right? Like Dan Quinn, Chris Richard, Gus Bradley. I don't think any of them do anything that differently. I think they all kind of just do what Carroll wants them to do. So maybe it probably would be better than Norton, but yeah. Garoppolo's about to get Ooh, he got the ball out. So the Mariners are now 2 games back of the Red Sox and 1 game back of the Blue Jays and 3 games back of the Yankees. This is going to be tight. Ooh, roughing the passer. That's big. Hey, Tucker. Hopefully. Quandre hasn't played the same since he got ejected in the Patriots game. Didn't he have 5 interceptions? He made the Pro Bowl after that. I don't think that's true. He hasn't played the same since this season started. At least the offense looks promising. Yeah, I do think that the offense is I do think the offense is trending in the right direction, but it's not going to be by enough to save this team from a terrible defense. AMG properties, don't spam my chat. Chill out. Knock it off. GTFO. Well, the good thing is we have a rabid fan base, so there will be more pressure to be good quickly. And I believe that if you blow things up, you will eventually be good again. But I'll say it again. I would prefer that this team win a Super Bowl and prove we don't have to blow it up. Not blowing it up is much easier than blowing it up, but I just don't believe anymore. I don't believe that Carroll can bring anything to the table. And can you win a Super Bowl with a head coach who doesn't bring anything to the table? I guess it's happened before. Yeah, Mask. I really wish we would stop running those plays with Carson. Man, Garoppolo, what the hell was that? Mike McCarthy was not a do nothing coach. He not then, I don't think. Didn't we sign Dunlap to 2 years, 3 years? But I think there's an easy out after two. I don't know. I guess it's possible that Dunlap just turned into a pumpkin, but I find that hard to believe that he just goes from really good edge rusher to no impact dude in one off season. Like, I don't believe it. Yeah, I hope the fans are ready to boo the crap out of Pete and this team if things go badly. Wait, what did they just call on the Packers? What's the flag on the Packers? Tripping. Okay, thank you. Huh, you almost never see tripping get called. Will Jensen, the Lions. That's a pass. That's not a fumble. That's a forward pass by Jimmy Grapes, right? Hazik, I don't follow the local media that much because I don't give a crap about them. But in my experience, they don't blame stuff on Russ unless they have to. That looks like a pass to me. I guess it's possible, Emmett, but God, I'd like to think the only player who does that is Clowney. Wait, is that a fumble? Oh, are they saying it's a backwards pass? Oh. Ooh, okay. Okay. That might, let's see. He's standing there, and then he throws it. Yes, it's a backwards pass. Live ball. Let's go. We got to take our happiness moments where we can get them. Yeah, okay. That pass went backwards, so it doesn't matter if it's a pass. It's not a forward pass, so it's a fumble. Man, Jimmy Garoppolo is awful. Is Jimmy Garoppolo like worse than Rex Grossman? I do drop top. I do. I honestly do. First down Packers. Yeah, we might beat the Niners. I think we could beat the Niners, but can we beat the Rams? Can we beat can we go into Pittsburgh and win? I don't know. But with the way we're playing defense right now, we can't beat nobody. And here's the thing that drives me crazy. You have the whole freaking off season. Like I don't know if you guys remember in the off season, they were talking about how great Flowers looked in camp. And now suddenly the games have started and oh, yeah, he still can't play. He's stuck. He sucks. Like what happened in camp? Are you not do I clearly you're you're not you're not doing the right things in camp. They're not representative of what you're doing in the games clearly. Because if Trey Flowers looks like a god in camp, then why is that not translating? Yeah, Kirk is definitely better than Jimmy. I think everybody's better than Jimmy. Jimmy is a turd. By the way, we still have 147 people in here. Thank you, everybody. We are sharing the misery. We are sharing the pain and agony together. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We have channel memberships open. $2 or $5 a month gets you perks and um, special channel emojis. And we also take donations in the form of Super Chat or PayPal. Trade LJ. Well, yeah, get LJ the hell out of here. Obviously, we're done with him, but you're not going to get anything for him. I hope everyone realizes that. Yeah, the defensive line is very disappointing to me. Would you rather have Jared Goff or Jimmy G? Definitely Goff. Goff, 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 Goff. Right, guy. Thank you for the 4.99. Not gonna lie, I'm not even ruling out us losing to Jags. If we play defense the way we did today, we can lose to anybody. All our defense did today was give up easy pitch and catch receptions the whole game. Receivers open by 15 yards. Like, that's not going to work against anybody. Ooh, nice D. Niners still going to have a chance. No, Mike, it's not the same shit every year. This is worse than it's been in most recent years. This looks worse than any recent year, I think, except maybe 2017. Maybe 2018, but that team was low on talent, so I wasn't that mad about it. I'm mad about this. This team, I really do believe this team has more talent than this. Yeah, it was 100% pass interference, but the game was over, so I'm not even going to trip. I I don't think Pete ever gives us a coaching advantage in these games. I think that he might give us some maybe he gives some has given us some advantage in terms of roster building, but he's not doing that anymore. Well, hopefully every single player on this defense does something. Like, I need to see some fire. I want to see somebody throwing a chair in the locker room. I want to see somebody like throwing a tantrum on the sideline at training camp or something. Like, wake up, guys! What the hell? This is embarrassing. I want to see some fire. I don't see very many people blaming this loss on Wilson drop top. I actually don't. I've seen one or two people, and they might be trolling. Okay, Niners down by 6 with 2:39 left. Yeah, I think Russ played fine today. And I was critical about him after the Titans game. I think he made a couple mistakes in that game, but I'm not mad at him for this. This isn't on him. Okay, incomplete. Second and 10. Jimmy Poopstain. Yeah, we had 3 possessions in the second half. Oh my god, Nathan. Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with Andy Dalton. We got a lot of pressure on the Colts. Well, that was almost a game-ending interception. Brandon Lux, there's definitely some truth to that. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm hoping that Jamal Adams can at least do for us now. I know he's not doing a ton on the field, but if he could just like get in somebody's face and start yelling. My Thailand of all the problems on this team, Wilson making $35 million is far from the issue. This team had plenty of money to spend on players. Either the players they got are not good, or, ooh, Kittle, big play, or they got good players and don't know how to use them. It's one of the two. Like, there was plenty of money to spend these last several off seasons, and we're not seeing big returns on any of it right now. I mean, Jamal Adams is great, but he's not what this defense needs. It don't make no sense. Yeah, if Bobby started getting angry, maybe the coaching staff would listen. Okay, 2 minute warning. Niners are in the fight. We need to get somebody who's a little more excited about working with Wilson's skill set instead of actively trying to work against it. No, 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 no. Stop alerting. I'll be down getting a Bradley Chubb or Chase Young for DK. Chase Young looks like Albert Hainsworth right now, though. What's up with Chase Young? He's not doing nothing, and that Washington defense sucks. Yeah, Russ with Kyle Shanahan would just be GG. Mask, you're still like 30 seconds ahead of me. I don't know how you do it. You're a wizard. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw the hard hit. Yeah, Tampa's defense does not look good. This is what I'm saying, guys. It's not even totally Carroll's. I mean, it's not even totally a knock on Carroll specifically. Defenses suck in the NFL right now. But guess what? You have to acknowledge that and say, who gives a crap about defense? Let's just have a bad defense. Let's just dump it all into the offense. Dump all the resources into the offense. Or you have to be the team that bucks that trend. Like the Panthers or the Saints. The Saints defense is pretty good. The Patriots are okay. Maybe one or two other teams, but not us, and that's what matters. Oh yeah, yeah, Emmett. I'm definitely not calling to trade any players yet. Honestly, I'm really nervous about giving up on some of these players. I'm really nervous about giving up on these players because I feel like I don't totally know how good the players are because I don't trust the coaches anymore. Um, Today, Dylan, no, I don't think we should have let backups play today. The game was never out of control to the point where it would have made sense to until there was literally like 30 seconds left. I don't think there's any need to do that. Wow, they're in the red zone. Are the Packers really going to blow this game? You know, I hate the Packers, but we really could use them not blowing this right now. This would be gross. Niners touchdown. Wow. Does Green Bay have any time left? A little bit. You know what? Maybe the Packers are going to have the season from hell too. Sign me up for it, man. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay with his tail tucked between his legs. Well, it is Aaron Rodgers. He does hit them Hail Marys. If you watch the draft stream, you can see Sean Payton hating on us drafting D.E. Robinson. I'll bet we could fleece them for Alton. He's one of the only young guys on this team I really like, though. I feel like you could build something around him. Maybe I'm overrating him, but I feel like he could be special. Depends on what you mean by fleecing, I guess. Well, Green Bay only needs a field goal, so it's actually not that bad. Any positives of the Jamal trade? We suck at our first round picks anyway, so whatever. Green Bay has no timeouts on my screen. I just can't believe the incompetency of a coaching staff to trade the farm for a player and not have a plan to utilize him properly. And just expect him to play in a way that doesn't utilize his skill set. Like, I didn't you have any defensive meetings maybe before you traded for him where you actually discussed things like, okay, if we get him, how are we going to use him? Yeah, David, that's starting to piss me off. Like, go for a damn Hail Mary. Why are you throwing checkdowns on the last play of the half? Throw a friggin' Hail Mary, my God. I don't think the Jimmy Graham trade was all that bad. He still ended up being pretty productive for us, but we were definitely a little stupid. Ooh, big catch. Adams, can you get out of bounds? No, but they're going to have time for a spike. And I think Max Unger retired a couple years after that trade. I could be wrong about that, but I think he did. They're going to go for a field goal. They need one more good play. Oh my God. They have a really good kicker, though. If they get in range here, they're probably good. But could you imagine what Aaron Rodgers would do to our defense? Look at the Niners. They're at least fighting and scrapping and clawing. They're in it. They're making plays on D. Incomplete. You would hope that it would, Will. Jimmy was good his last 2 years. His second year here, I think he had 1,000 yards receiving, and then the last year he had 10 touchdowns. I'm not looking at chat for a second, guys. You guys are ahead of me on the game. I don't know what just happened, but you guys do, so I'm not looking at the chat. Just give me 1 second here. Ooh, Adams catches it. They've set up for a field goal. They just need to get up and spike the ball. Yep, they're going to get a field goal to win it. Yeah, we play Rodgers this season. And the Niners defense hasn't been that good this year either. Like, they gave up 8 billion touchdowns to Jared Goff and almost blew that game. Ice the kicker? Okay. 51 yards. So, anyway, to everybody in the stream, if you guys want to see me try to start Persona 4, I will be doing that a little bit after this stream ends. It'll be on this channel. And hopefully the game doesn't freeze up on me like it did on my last computer. If it does, then we're going to have to audible. But the game should work. So, yeah. I'm going to start from the beginning. I have played it before, though, so I know everything that happens in the game. But I'm going to go through it on stream if my computer works with it. I don't care about Richard Sherman, Dylan. I don't think he can help this team. Field goal good? Okay. So, hopefully, my new computer will run Persona 4 fine. It's good. All right. Green Bay takes an L at home in a game they had every chance to win. Have you played Persona 5? A couple of times, Hazik. I played every mainline Persona game. I've beaten every mainline Persona game. 1, both versions of 2, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, 3, 4, 5, and Strikers. And I think that's it. But yeah, I've played every mainline Persona game. Oh, Jason Myers is awesome, depressed Jets fan. Had a couple missed kicks the last couple weeks, but I'm not putting nothing on them. Who do you romance in 5? My first time through, I romanced On. The second time, I romanced Kasumi. If I ever play it again, I will romance Makoto. Or Kawakami, but I kind of feel dirty when I romance Kawakami because it's, it's not appropriate. But I like Kawakami. Are we going to lose Russ? I kind of feel like we will, but lot of stuff remains to be decided there. Amadi might have had the worst game of his life today. Do you think Pete would rather have Baker or Matt Ryan? Probably Baker. Hmm. Trey Flowers has a little bit of a mouth on him. Did not expect that. What should we do this week to improve our team? Tonya Harding, Pete Carroll, I guess. That's all I got. I don't give a damn. All right, guys. That's it for this stream. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Give me a little bit of time to take care of a little bit of business, and then I will be back on stream for Persona 4. I'll still talk Seahawks if you guys want me to, but I'll be a little distracted. See you guys. See you guys in a little bit.